So a couple videos back, I know someone commented that last time I had the glasses on, it was a glare. It might be a glare this time too. I want to wear the glasses. I think it looks pretty cool, me personally. But anyway, last time, a couple videos back, I made a video that was talking about why black superheroes aren't seen as popular. And in that video, I said that I wanted to start kind of a new series where I take black superheroes that are not really as known and I kind of relate them to how society is. So I'm starting that now. I felt like, and I'm going to be looking back from side to side. This is a long intro. But I'm starting that now. I feel like there was no better character to start with than Blue Marvel. So, without further ado, cue the intro.
Up in the sky! It's a bird!
It's a plane!
It's a geek.
Now, before I say this, right, I'm only doing enough research to make this video. So I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm a Blue Marvel expert or any expert on the characters I'm about to talk about, but I know enough to how they relate to people now in America. So, little background on Blue Marvel. Blue Marvel is a super ultra intelligent person. He has two PhDs. He was a Marine, and he has godlike powers. I mean, his powers was him and his friend were supposed to be doing this project. The project went wrong. Typical superhero power getting stuff. They're doing something goes wrong, and they get powers. Blue Marvel's powers are like energy absorption, manipulation, matter manipulation. He has super strength. He's invulnerable. He has great. He can fly. Heightened senses. Normal stuff. Kind of about the same stuff Superman got to a certain extent, right? With the thing that went wrong, he was able to put his body back into like a regular form. His friend, on the other hand, who was also working with him that got trapped into this mishap with this project, wasn't able to do that. So his friend is basically just energy, right? So because of that, y'all know how it is. If you know how Electro's story is, when society is already looking at you weird from being black, and then you're just a bottle of energy, that's crazy. So obviously he's mad about that. What happens is, I'm gonna touch on his friend because his friend storyline is cool too. What happens is his friend is going out through life, right? And he finds out his brother got killed by the KKK in the past. So that makes his friend, we're gonna call him Anti-Man because that's his superhero name. That makes his friend say, you know what? I don't like racism. My brother got killed by the KKK. I'm black. I go through racism. Let me just try to redo the world in my image, and then whoever has a problem with that, I'm gonna kill him. So you can automatically see that's not the right way to go about this situation. He goes back and forth with Blue Marvel. That's his friend. We're gonna touch back on his friend later. Blue Marvel, right? So Blue Marvel was a casual, regular superhero doing superhero things, but he had a mask to hide from the world that he was black, because the government didn't want one of the most powerful superheroes of the world to be a black man. So he wore this mask to hide his face, hide his identity. But he eventually ends up fighting Anti-Man, and in that fight, his mask rips. So that's when the world finds out he's black. So the government basically says, hey, you're a black dude. You're getting backlash for being black. You're also getting backlash from other black people because you're fighting against someone who wants to end racism, when in reality, the way Anti-Man wants to go about ending racism is not the right way to do it. So he's getting backlash from here, there, everywhere, and the government's like, hey bro, you gotta retire. So he ends up going away. Alright? Ends up going away for a very long time, and we don't see him until when Anti-Man comes back up, and they have to fight with Avengers, and the Avengers are like, hey Blue Marvel, we need your help, and That's basically Blue Marvel's story, to put it like very, very simply. How does this relate to the black man in America, the black struggle in America? I have a lot of places we can go with this, right? And I have a couple of things right here. Obviously, we have the obvious, racism. Being black comes with a lot of racism, all right? And I'm talking about this on my channel because I know it's gonna be Black people, there's some black people, we need to hear this type of stuff. I live in Kentucky, bro. I live in Kentucky. Even when I was going to get my license, early in the morning, I was going to get my Kentucky license. I got my slides on, it's cold, jacket on, and it's this lady, she's white. She looks at me up and down, and I can hear her say this to whoever she was talking. It might have been her son. I can hear it, she says this: I don't know why people go out in these slides. I don't know why these people go out in these slides. I want to say this correctly. I don't think she said slides, if I can remember, because I got my license like 2 weeks ago. It was like, I don't know why these people go out in these type of shoes. It was something like that. But I had my slides on. So, and y'all might look at that and say, that ain't racism, bruh. But if y'all saw how she was looking at me, she was looking at me like in disgust. I swear. She's like, this is gonna be so good. I'm not gonna say how she looked, but she looked at me up and down with disgust. It says, I don't know why these people go out in these shoes. Bruh, y'all know black people, most black people wearing the slides. I don't really be seeing a white person wear slides, buddy. We know what it is, alright? I haven't told anybody that she said that. But she said it. I ain't told my girlfriend, my family, or nothing. Because it's gotten to a point where this type of stuff is regular. I go into a lot of stores here, and I'm the only black person. In my team at work, I'm the only black person. So sometimes we need to acknowledge that, yes, no matter, a lot of other people who aren't black are going to sit there and tell you that racism isn't a thing because they don't have to deal with it. But if you're black, almost every black person, unless you live in like Atlanta, where it's the black Mecca, you've dealt with some type of racism in some fashion. Maybe you know it, maybe you don't know it, but you have definitely dealt with it. Blue Marvel is no exception. He's written to where he's dealing with racism from his peers, from the people who's going out to save. These people don't know he's black. You know what I'm saying? So he's dealing with this on a daily basis. In our society, it relates because black men, we're going through racism. Y'all know who's in office. So he brings the racists out. So the racists are way more likely to, openly do what they want to do or say what they want to say. And that's not right, in my opinion. Representation. Representation is very, very important. Even me having this do-rag on right now, you automatically think, oh, this dude's from the hood. This dude's ghetto. Representation is very important. And by black representation, we have to take the good with the bad, right? We gotta acknowledge that, yes, there are a great number of black people that are bad, but we should also be represented for the black people that are good as well. Blue Marvel is a person who was made just to be a great representation for black people. A superhero, super strong, who's, he's overlooked most of the time. He has to sell his identity and who he really is. This is the black man in America today. Representation is very, very important because in today, I'm going deep with y'all. The times we live in today, we see a lot of representation with everyone else. It seems like everyone likes to come together. And black people, I made a video. Black people be at the world and coming together too. That's what I talked about in my black superhero video. But when I say come together, I mean all the other minorities come together against black people. All the other groups that people don't love, people don't really like that they should, they come together against black people. Black people are the only group who really doesn't have any help, mainly from outside people. It's just us. That's what I'm telling y'all. We gotta come together and we gotta make this better for us as a whole. And leadership. Blue Marvel is a black leader. He leads by example. And this kind of goes back into the representation thing as well. When you're representing, when you're wearing this color of your skin, or whoever you are, you don't represent just like me, right? My real name is Jaden, but I don't represent just Jaden. I represent Jaden the black man. I represent Jaden and my last name, my family, my mom, my dad, my girl. I represent all of that stuff. So in representing all of those people, all of those different things, I have to come off as a leader. That's what Blue Marvel did in his comics and his stories. Blue Marvel says, hey, I know you're my best friend, but if I want to be a leader, like I think I should be, we're going to have to go against each other because what you're trying to get at is great. It shouldn't be racism. But at the same time, buddy, you can't just go kill everybody. Because if you're doing that, you're just as bad as the people as the people who wanted segregation in the 60s and 70s and all in the 50s and all as long as it's been time. You're just as bad if you're going that route. And a couple of my videos too, when talking about us, it's like we have this thing where we can't really be smart, you know. Even black people, my own peers, my own black people, you look that weird if you're smart. You look that weird if you like this, if you like that. You know, I think Blue Marvel does a great job of saying, I can be very intelligent. I can go back and forth with the best of when it come to the 2+2s and the 4+4s. But I can also be strong physically with the best of them. And that's the man that America does not want to see. That is the man that America doesn't want to see. America fears the man who is the black man, or any man in general. I'm talking about black people, but I'm talking in general. Any man that is comfortable in their own skin. Well, I'm not gonna say any man, because if you white and you comfortable, America, they accepting you right on in. But for the minorities, if you're smart, if you're physically strong, if you're comfortable in the skills that you have, America fears that because it goes against what the normal status is in the world, in our country. So I said I would touch back at Anti-Man. Right, and I want to touch back at Anti-Man because even the fight between Anti-Man and Blue Marvel is powerful for multiple reasons, right? It's powerful because it shows what happens when you put two black men against each other who are also friends. This is kind of another thing that goes back into our world, or I keep saying world, but mainly in our country. It's hard for, say, a stronger black man to go against someone who's your friend and is thinking on the opposite side. It's hard because that's your friend. You've known him for a long time. Y'all get together, y'all cool, But at the same time, your friend is thinking this way and you're thinking this way. Who's really right? His views seem right to him. His views seem right to him. And that's what happens in our society. One of the reasons why I said, man, it'll be hard for us to really be if we all got together, we would be as powerful as any other group. But it's hard because as black people, we don't like to see the other side. The Blue Marvels don't like to see the Anti-Man side, and the Anti-Men don't like to see the Blue Marvel side. And in today, and keep in mind, this story was written in like it was set in like the 50s and 60s, right? So this is around when this stuff is going on, when racism is like the major thing at that point still. We have a lot of anti-men in the world. A lot of anti-men. But we don't have a lot of Blue Marvels. We have a lot of people who want to do the right thing, but they don't know the limits and repercussions they have on doing that said thing. This is the last thing I'm gonna say with it. I'm gonna name drop somebody, and I'm pretty sure you know who this person is. Charleston White. I mean, you probably didn't expect me to say his name. Charleston White. If you don't know Charleston White, look him up. Charleston White was really, he started out as being somewhat of like from what I can remember him saying and with the research I had done on him, he started out kind of being a black activist. He was trying to get black people together. He was trying to do this and trying to do that. So in this case, you know, he was a black activist, but his ways were a little skewed, as I can to put it simple. So he might have been more on the anti-men side, and even like people like Dr. Umar, who is not probably as reckless as a Charleston White, but your views are also still skewed. Black people shouldn't be more powerful than white people. White people shouldn't be more powerful than black people. Mexicans, they shouldn't be together. Everybody should be equal. They both are kind of like, Charleston White seemed like he was more so saying like he wanted to be equal. Dr. Umar, when he talked, I think he just want black people to be the supreme everything, which that's not how it should work at all. So a lot of anti-men and not enough Blue Marvels. Who would be a Blue Marvel? Your Martin Luther Kings. Malcolm X would be in the middle of a Blue Marvel and an anti-man. Nelson Mandela, a Blue Marvel. I'm naming people from back in the day. And it could be because those issues happened back in the day, but still, there's issues still happening now. It's not enough Blue Marvels and it's not enough anti-men. So I want to pose this question. I'm gonna end it right here. What is stopping you from being a Blue Marvel? This is my attempt at trying to be a Blue Marvel. I have a small voice, but I feel like my voice could be heard and can be seen with with the little platform that I made so far of myself. But that's all I got for y'all. Very, very powerful video. Probably the most powerful video I've ever made so far. If you love the video, like the video. If you don't love the video, select the video. I'm on the road to 350 subscribers. I appreciate if you like my content, share my content. Before I go, I have a big video dropping next week. I don't know if I said it in the intro. I don't think I did, but I'm doing my own DCU slate. And it will be dropping when the Superman trailer comes out, and it comes out next week. I'm going to record it probably tonight. All right. So look out for that, because I will be talking about DCU Slate 1, Gods Amongst Men. Anyway, I'm out. Peace.